next, I'd like to invite an incredible mind to lead and introduce the next session, which is Makerverse, Building the Future of Creativity, starting with Nasty C. The co-founder and the CEO of Makerverse is here with us. His name is Toby, all the way from South Africa, and he's going to present to us the concept of this brilliant platform called Makerverse. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Toby as he joins us here.
We have entered the world of Web 3.0 technologies. It's a paradigm shift in how blockchain, social networks, and artificial intelligence have reinvented the way that we work, live, play, and now create. At Makerverse, we believe that human creativity is the ultimate technology, and that this technology will be the future of work for the next decade. The creator economy has given birth to 200 million people doing what they love for a living online. This market is worth $500 billion, and it's set to double within the next 5 years. But in Africa, we have our own technological and cultural revolution. By 2030, 600 million youth under the age of 25 will enter a digital-first world of work. They will do this via their smartphones, and their choice of work will be creativity. Their first dollar earned will be revenue and not a salary. This is a fundamental change in how the traditional linear world of work will be transformed into one of digital and exponential potential. You see, music is the fastest user-generated content category on the internet right now. Right? And in Africa, the demand for Gen Z entertainment culture is placing enormous pressure on the traditional infrastructures that does not exist. For Africa to unlock and unleash its full digital potential, it needs to address two problems. The first one is an infrastructure problem, and the second one is a monetization problem. Starting with the music industry. The global music revenue generated, as earlier shown today, exceeds $26 billion globally. Creators earn about half of that, and Africa gets the minority share. And the reason for that is because Africa, at large, has 54 countries in one continent. Just over 33 have formal established rights societies, but less than a third of them are fully digitally enabled. And what this is causing is a financial rights problem for creators. Rights societies protect our interests and our commercial interests from public creators' perspective. It represents a traditional model in a digital era. It is not always accessible for many in Africa to access a physical location, and therefore left out, right, from registering their music, copyright, and protecting it. Record labels have built this incredible industry for all of us. And they have this huge checkbook of $7 billion that gets invested into growing their artists and discovering new artists. But it's a business model designed for the 1%, leaving many of the potential African artists out of the equation. Music distribution has become more accessible and gives a lot of artists direct access to major platforms. But for Africans, it's still 15 times more than they can afford in local market currency. And the propensity and the ability to pay is hard because Africa does not have a single currency or payment system. And many Africans cannot, one, pay for these services, never mind getting their money out of the system. Right. Social networks have given us infrastructure to build a following and a fan base. But there's a conflict of interest in how creators' data and the engagement with their fans are leveraged. Your data is auctioned off to advertisers, And the networks prioritize that advertising over and above your engagement with your fans. We believe that the music industry is fragmented and broken and needs to change. So at Makerverse, we're building the technology infrastructure to help creative agencies, brands, and independent creators run their own decentralized monetization communities. Our platform is designed for audio and visual content creators to protect their music, distribute it, directly engage with fans, monetize horizontally, and get paid in any currency in the local market. Today is the first time that we are revealing what we have developed. We've spent the last few months with some of the biggest creators in the continent as they plan to go direct to market, to own their money, own their community, and own their data. We help creators own their worth by giving them this infrastructure at almost less than $1 a month. And we couldn't be more proud to reveal and show one of the first innovations that we've built on top of our infrastructure. Today, we're proud to present to you, in partnership with Nasty C, the first decentralized record label and independent marketplace for 99% of African creators. It's called Tallracks, and this is how it works.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Tallracks is what we just saw on stage. And the man, or the two men behind it, we've already introduced Toby. But yeah, allow me to stand up to do this. A round of applause for the man himself. Nasty C is in the building.
Thank you.
Yes. A powerhouse of talent. We've seen him go beyond music into gaming. And obviously what we've seen now, tech entrepreneurship, which is incredible. And I can't wait to hear the full story on your passion, the drive, and how the two of you met to create this incredible product that we're about to experience. So welcome first off, and congratulations on all the success with your, the album, the tour, and everything. It's good to have you in Rwanda.
Thank you. Pleasure being here. What's up, everyone? How you guys doing?
Is your first time in Rwanda?
Nah. Plenty
nice.
of times, yeah.
Nice. Tell me, first off, you started off music, right? And we've seen all these other versions of you or different passions of you evolve over time. Was it always part of the game plan, or did you meet, encounter, and just embrace it along the way?
I don't think it was a part of any solid plan, but it was inevitable. It was bound to happen because these are all just pieces of me that already existed before I became famous. So I always did all these things. Coming up where I come from, having no one to help you with visuals, mixing, recording, none of that stuff. You have to learn how to do everything yourself. And that's where you kind of pick up all these different skills. And as you grow, you hone those skills, then you find different places to apply them.
And how did you balance it all to the point where you're excelling as an artist, the dopest, hottest, biggest from South Africa and Africa export to the world when it comes to hip-hop music, but you still manage to excel in content creation, gaming, and still have and manage the time to work with Toby on this incredible product?
Just like I said, it comes very naturally to me, man. You know, these are things I've been doing since a kid, you know, whether it's gaming or editing music videos for myself, for my friends, making music for myself. These are all things I used to do all day, every day. So, yeah, I'm just very lucky and fortunate that we moved into an era where you can apply these things separately and have them all be successful concurrently, you know? Yeah.
The music industry has changed, and I'm sure Toby is based on that you created Makerverse and everything else that we're about to see.
Yeah.
It's moved from a decade ago. Signing on to a huge record label would have been everything. It's a dream of an independent and underground artist is like, you know, just gonna get signed, send my demos around, and get signed to a big record label. Things have changed. Key partnerships, access to key platforms is a new way to go to empower independent artists. You've moved from the stage of being, you know, an artist on the come up to a superstar, signing on to, you know, Def Jam, a huge record label, to making the decision to go independent again. What informed that?
Just the hunger for full control. You know, being able to release and make music whenever I want to and however I want to, and do it in my language, the language that my fans understand best, where there's no middle person, there's no third party that'll translate that and then have the message land in a language that's not mine. So that, and also just like ownership, man. You know, I want to start seeing the fruits of my labor, and I want to get majority of the chunk, if not all the chunk. You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're signed, you see a very small cut of it, and that's just what it is. But as you grow, you learn to value your intellectual property, and you want to see the value. You know?
That's huge. A round of applause. It's a big jump, guys. Signing to becoming independent is a huge deal. And Toby, let me bring you in here. The opportunity was there. You probably spotted that window of opportunity or the challenge or problem that independent artists or artists who wanted to be independent faced. What was that problem that you saw?
It was rails and brains. So as a technologist, formal financial services banking guy, I wanted to solve banking for creators. We don't have a bank of our own. We are financially credit invisible. We don't have any means of tapping into a payment system that builds a financial graph, builds a credit score so that we can unlock funding and advance money on our own gigs. Only labels have those resources. But with the blockchain and with, you know, open data infrastructure, we can now use AI and compute and create new predictive analytics that, you know, on large scales of data, if you look at Junior or Nasty's fans, there's over 15 million kids that's engaged, and you have this vast amount of data that we've been able to build infrastructure for that now tells us the time is right, because the continent is starting to adopt mobile-first technology. A lot more youth are getting access. Africa is becoming urbanized, so they have spending power. And, you know, music is still an early business. It's 9 years old, you know, since iTunes launched, and compared to Facebook's almost 18 years, right? So it's still early, and music now in the digital age has become a platform of its own. So it is big enough to build something that can deliver a return on investment, and then working on methods, financial structures that can take the artist in his bedroom, right, to Nasty. And that's the platform that we wanted to create together. How do we get everybody to be a kid again, to play and tap into our inner, deeper creator? And what I've learned working with Junior and the incredible team that's behind Nasty C, the brand and the people, is it's an energy business. And I think sometimes it's a team business. Number one, it's teamwork, but, you know, the team needs to relieve the creator to create, tap into your creativity, hone your skills, tinkering, playing, and perfecting. That's skills development. And what we are seeing, and what I started seeing pre-COVID, going to universities and speaking there, kids never introduced themselves as, hey, I'm studying to be a doctor or a lawyer. When they saw us in their own format, skinny jeans and high tops, they say, well, I want to be a creator, a producer. And they started speaking about a future vision of themselves, irrespective of mom and dad's $50,000 investment into their education. And we've just been tracking this creator economy that we believe that, hey, if the mobile telephony cost is coming down, the cost of content creation is coming down, access is opening up, now we need to teach kids how to be creative with their creativity and turning it into money. Nasty C is the blueprint to help the 99% in Africa that needs a leg up. And we built Tallracks, to go and, as an experiment, really, to see what can we achieve. And that's the beautiful thing about being independent and not relying on somebody else's checkbook, is you make your own financial decisions, you invest in your own technology, and you own your own world.
Yeah.
And very fortunate, the guys have made a ticket into us, and we've made it all possible together. But creator economy is rising and thriving. I look at my kid, he watches YouTube, he wants to be a YouTuber. He's not being a policeman or, a fire truck guy.
It's changed drastically, hasn't it?
And if I have to leave the world, today, I would want my kids to be inspired by the risks, the boldness, the tenacity, and the drive that the creator has. And Nasty has all those characteristics to truly inspire our next generation of young people. So I think we're going to be in a good place. And for me, it's about impact and giving back as an investor, as an entrepreneur. And Tallracks has really just unlocked that deep inner kid and passion. I'm also a musician. I play rock and roll, heavy metal music, but I'm kind of converted on the hip hop side now.
Nasty, let me ask you, so what was the original idea?
Yeah.
And lead that into the vision for Tallracks.
So it's to, well, number one, give creators direct access to their fans, and then vice versa. Let them be able to interact with their fans in real time. Let them be able to track their data so they know their worth in real time. As soon as you drop that song, you can track exactly how well it's doing, which demographic is listening to it the most, what kind of content do you need to create to support it and market it.
Wow.
And that content can still be made on that very same app. So all these things that you need to do as a creative, you can do on one app, instead of having to jump around between different apps and stuff like that.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And tell us a bit more about the tech. Saw the UI, it looks amazing. But if you could tell us, Toby, a bit about the tech behind this that's really going to power this app.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at technology just in general, there's something called Moore's Law. It's a theory that every 7 to 9, 10 years, the cost of technology reduces and the adoption, doubles. And it is because we have people in Silicon Valley innovating, pioneering, and they have a lot of access to funding. In Africa, that is way far from the truth. We don't have a Silicon Valley for music. We don't have innovation hubs that really tinkers on the infrastructure. How is DSPs built? How are social networks built? And how do we, number one, I would say, decentralize ourselves from traditional business models? You see, now we've got this 120, 30,000 songs every day coming up because kids find their way to build a fan base on TikTok really quickly. But when you put your music out there, you get the lion's share, right? They sell your engagement to advertisers.
Yeah.
And you can't really take your fans anywhere else. If TikTok decides to, cut you off, or there's no place for you to have direct connection to your fans. So we had to go and understand how algorithms work, and we've had years of data and experience building stuff like that. And more importantly, blockchain has become more programmable in terms of how we can copyright music, tokenize music, create smart contracts, essentially splits. So every creator knows how much streams they got on a song in real time. They know exactly how much their royalties is in real time, and they can get it directly in a wallet, a USDC crypto blockchain wallet and a stable coin. And that way we can bring money, US dollars, to every African in every country, right, at a fraction of the cost. PayPal is not in every country.
True.
It's very expensive to cash out your money from PayPal. Not every bank has PayPal support. That's a monopoly there. That's an inefficiency that needs to be disrupted, right? The traditional business model of streaming is great because it built a platform, like I said, but there'll be 1 billion people on streaming platforms in the next 5 years, 1 billion people paying. On Facebook, there's 4.5 billion not paying because creators are the product. So if people are willing to pay that, they can diversify their spend, and that can be more democratized through blockchain technology. So what we're essentially building is this interaction layer that gives fans and creators a way to connect, create, and transact. And underlying, we're really building a financial services infrastructure. We believe that with blockchain, we can bring a whole creator economy together that is borderless, right? That unites us digitally, that takes everybody's creativity here and puts it on a central place that they still have ownership of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of education needed for this, and I think, at Makerverse, we're making it our purpose to bring these concepts and these technologies to the forefront and making it accessible at a cost that every African can afford it, right, in every currency.
Love that.
So yeah, it's just building tech is hard, it's long hours, it's, but it is being informed by data, design thinking with Junior sitting there and understanding his vision, how fans interact, having had access to all the fans and see it from their world was quite unique for us. And, we've just started. We have been building in stealth. Today's our first debut. We just felt like sometimes you're never ready, but you have to force yourself to be ready. And I think we've created something incredible. And we're giving everybody access to this here at Access. So come and explore Tallracks at our stand. Come and feel it, give us feedback, and build together. It's co-creation. It's collaboration. Nobody owns actually. There's no ego here. It's open to all, and we want you all to come. And Nasty's just given this incredible opportunity to everybody in the room to participate in our mission and on our vision together.
It's incredible. Blockchain is the way to go. I know artists in Ghana who pay other artists and producers and whatever service fee they need to pay in Bitcoin now. Because the money, transferring from one bank to another is almost impossible sometimes, or the charges on it is ridiculous. So a platform like this is very much welcome. I love the sound of it. But I want us to break it down a little bit for the artists here, about the artists who are about to experience it. I'm done with the song, it's ready. Usually I send it to distribution agency, whoever it is I'm working with, and they send it to Apple Music, Spotify, whatever it is. How does it work with Tallracks? I've got the song, where does it go next?
You click upload and it goes everywhere it needs to go. Simple as that.
So it's connected to the DSPs.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
And then you can track it in real time too, which I feel like is not a small thing, because if you're an artist, you know exactly how it is. You never know how much your song is doing until Spotify decides, oh, it's the end of the year, this is how well you did this year, or whatever, but you can track it in real time and understand exactly what's going on with your content.
I think the next question for me is, what are the splits then between myself as an artist and Tallracks when it comes to royalties, the money I'm making from my music? How is that split?
So the beautiful thing here is you control your own economy, right? So you decide. I mean, we've deprecated the cost by everybody that's collaborated with us. We're an alliance with a lot of creators that's still also behind us. Nasty's carrying the vision. So the more people you have collaborate, the more we bring the cost down, the better negotiation we have with all these enterprises and third parties, and the more innovation we can put around the business model. Because everybody thinks it's just technology and it's entertainment, but there's still a business behind it.
Yeah.
And we believe that we're at the cusp of reinventing the business model for independent creators, decentralizing yourself, leveraging the channels for growth and distribution, but owning your economy, owning your content, owning your community, owning your fans, and owning your brand. And you have your own social network within the Tallracks platform. It's uninterrupted, it's ad-free, there's no algorithms that programs anybody else's, agenda over and above your connection with your fans. And it makes it easy for fans, just as easy to start tipping, donating, buying or selling, or subscribing direct to their creator. You've got all of the creators' content on their fan page and their feed. It feels very native. And you've got the creator that can see all of their fans on all of the platforms into one place. And just having visibility as a means of transparency, and now having metrics such as revenue per follower, revenue per stream.
Wow.
What is the cost of acquiring a profitable listener? How much do I invest in TikTok and make an ROI? Because TikTok's canceling now music distribution, right? And they pay the least. So if you had $100, if you want followers and fame, or just want to be in the moment for a minute, put $100 into TikTok. But if we want to last, put $100 a month into yourself and build on top of that with your community, something that you own, and 100% into your pocket. There are fees, but it is incredibly competitive, and we're happy to reveal more of those for those who sign up, who wants to pilot with us and collaborate. And maybe you can set your own price even,
Love it, love it. So this app is going to be available to users and artists. What are the dynamics there between the fan and the artist and the tech?
It's a very good question. When we looked at this, naturally the industry was very, and I would say a lot of creators were apprehensive of coming forward. We've got to look at our cultural realities as one, and our understanding and our education levels as another. And we come from different worlds. So I think what we've been able to do is have a lot of respect and being honest in that process and learn from each other. Everyone had a voice. And if anything, I was a student. If anything, I'm just a student. And it's just an honor to work for people, to serve people. Business model-wise, we can't disrupt what they've built. Culture is built on culture. Who are we to come and take that away?
Yeah.
So we could not be the brand or the app that goes direct to market and be a threat. We could, but it's not going to create a sustainable ecosystem. And that was the most important thing. So we decided on a software as a service business model so that we have no conflict of interest in how the creator makes or invests or spends his money, and that we have no influence of how fans engage with that creator. So it's a decentralized software as a service platform, and we're building our own ad server, our own banking system, our own fan engagement, and our own payment capabilities. And building it from the ground up, meaning we are as close to the source of innovation, which means we reduce the cost from that to almost nothing. So to give you an idea, if you upload content like a song or music video, right, to the cloud, let's say AWS, Amazon. AWS is crazy expensive, right? My banking software runs at $25,000 a month. That's just server costs. The thing is, what we've learned is how to, in the last 5 years, the technology has accelerated and improved so much that maybe 5 years ago, it would have cost me maybe $1 to store a music video a year. Now it costs me 0.00008 cents a year. So it just shows you the exponential rate is almost 1,000% improvement in value and reduction in cost. All that margin is what other competitors are sitting on and charging you fees. We say we give that margin to the creator, and he creates a new flywheel. He needs to be liquid, he needs to have cash flow to continuously invest in his growth into the service. So, by continuous innovation, we deprecate the cost. By more access, we involve more people. The more revenue on the platform, the more benefit for anybody. And the revenue doesn't flow up or to the top, to the left of the side. There's no corporate shareholders. We're all just co-founders, innovators. It's like a band, man, coming together, innovating this thing like in your bedroom again. It's just a start. So we don't have all the answers. We have a vision. But if everyone can come participate and bring their piece, who knows what it could be. It's been an incredible journey. It's been a hard slog, but we're only getting started.
The vision's amazing. Nasty, what are some of the challenges you've had and you probably foresee? You've been around, you've been in many African countries, you know how it runs, you heard from artists, the struggles they go through. What do you think are going to be some of the problems you guys face?
That we will face?
Possibly.
I see from my point of view, the only struggle might be maybe getting like placement on radio and stuff like that. But also, as an artist, you do need to have a manager who can take care of stuff like that, who can get you somebody to go submit all those things for you.
True.
Which, you know, it's like, it's a standard thing. So it's not really even that big of a deal. Every single artist in the world has to go through that. Yeah, that's the only one I see, really.
And let me dip into, you know, music management and the business of it a little bit for you. Yet you're off a record label now, you're independent, but you still need that efficient team around you to make sure you're leveraging and making the most of platforms and
100%.
Tallracks. How does it work with your team? What's that like?
So I have an amazing team, man. It's people that I've been with for a very long time, and I've been signed majority of my professional career. So we've been just soaking up a lot of like knowledge and game, so they know exactly how to move, where to go, which people to talk to, and we've built up a very efficient network of the services that we need and people that can provide those services. So yeah, they handle that very swiftly.
And what are some of the things you look out for in the people you decide to work with? In a lot of places, and for a lot of independent and artists on the come up, it's, let me just call my friend. It's just like, I got this guy who lives with me, my cousin. So their team is usually just friends and family. What do you look out for?
You see, that's how it starts, though. So there's actually no fault in that. I started like that too. And that's how you learn, that's how you grow. Eventually you will find the people who understand exactly what you want and who know that they can bring it to you. Because in the beginning, all you really want is people you can trust, and who better than your friends and people close to you. So that's how it starts anyways. It's not always how it ends. I'm fortunate enough to have it work the other way around. It started off with friends, but now my manager is actually my brother, my actual big brother. So yeah, in some cases you will be lucky enough to have someone close to you that you'll bring on board very early, who will actually stick with you and drop anything else and actually focus and lock in with you. But in most cases, you shouldn't be discouraged. It'll happen. It'll happen. People don't say this for no reason. They say don't mix family or friends with business. There's a reason people say that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Nasty C and Toby. Makerverse, Tallracks, here to stay. I'm gonna ask you guys to, just raise your hand if you have any question for Nasty C or Toby. We'll pass you the mic so you can go ahead and ask. I'm gonna start on my left and then come this way, all right? So we're gonna start, there's a gentleman down there. White shirt, he's got his hand raised. Oh, there's no microphone there, okay. Who's got the mic now? Where's the microphone? On this side. Okay, let's start here then.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Diana from Kenya, and I'm in the management and talent management and content management, which means you have to make PR make sense and also the money make sense. So first of all, Nasty C, congratulations for being the first South African artist to surpass 1 million hip-hop views on Spotify.
Thank you.
Which brings my question. For every artist, there needs to be a form of tracking your success on every platform. Yeah? For Spotify is streams, for YouTube is views. So I like what you said where for Tallracks, you just click and upload. But what's the tracking mechanism for success on the platform? Is it views? Is it streams? Do you depend on other platforms for the success? So that when I tell my artists to sign up, how will they track their success on the platform?
Okay, that's more of a techie question. He can definitely break that down for you better than
Toby?
I can.
Yeah. So I think showing the product at our booth can address this. But once you sign up, you just give any of your. How the platform works is we do data aggregation. So we've got these deep integrations to all these DSPs and these platforms. So when you sign up, you put in your Spotify link, and just with one link, we can go pull up to 100 platforms data. And we bring that consolidated. Now, metrics is different. You need views because if that's there for a video. You need plays because that's listens. That's the metrics of music. Is the number of plays equals the number of royalties equals the number of revenue. That's the simple math. But is that the metric that really matters going forward when music is being diminished, the value of music in terms of monetary from labels to artists or DSPs to artists? That is a diminishing revenue stream, and it's not, I would say personally, the most bankable thing. You need to diversify your revenue as an artist. You need, like any business, you need your contractual revenue, which brings in your stable cash flow. You need your equity in your music, So equity means I own my music and it grows compound. The more fans come on top, the more fans go back into the catalog. And we've seen that with Nasty. You get new fans coming in, they go back to the first album. They listen to that album 54 times a year before they move on to the next and the next and the next. So by the time we are now, Nasty has about his fans listen to his albums about 129 times a year. That's a metric. And when you compare that and you benchmark it to others, that's when you see where you are at. But the key thing here is breaking even on your cost. And it's a financial skill, that we've embedded in the platform. It will just show you, your cost is whatever dollar you pay, and then your streams come in, X multiply. And no single platform pays the same, right? The social networks pay a lower fee, Spotify, and then YouTube pays something higher. And there are more of these DSPs coming out, but those business models are not sustainable for independent creators to make a living off of it. Even though you have more distribution and you have more reach, it doesn't mean more fans on all other platforms will be into your music. You get other platforms that are big in gospel and not in hip-hop. So you need to be very laser focused. So first, we aggregate the data to understand who are my fans, geography, cities, how often do they engage, who are my super fans, because followers means nothing, right? When we put out music or content out there, we look at the first people that engages on that content. And often the case, as many of you will know, half of the followers that engage in your music were never following you in the first place. Like but you're also losing fans in the same place. So sometimes you just think about the top line, but you don't think of bottom line. And the reason is we have not learned how to nurture our fan base. You're an entrepreneur, you need to service your fans. You need to tell stories. You need to connect with them. And that's the other work that goes into this. So measuring your performance is a measure of your input. And your input is, how well am I connected to my fan? How do I understand their circumstance? Why are fans connected to Nasty? Because they feel you're somebody that connects with me. There's somebody that understands me, and there's somebody that inspires me. That is a measurement also of success. But many of the times, artists are just going for that 1 billion view accolade, and they forget that if they look back at the data, and you look 24 months back, you would see that the amount of fans you've grown by is almost the same amount of fans you've lost. And because you don't have a view, you don't have a track record of 5 or 10 years of data in front of you, you won't see a graph. You wouldn't know. So there's a lot of financial and metric and engagement education that we've built into as little tooltips on the Tallracks platform to inform you this is how you are doing in your league, in your genre compared to other people. This is how much revenue you're generating off of this content piece. This is the impressions, the value that you get from organic content. Once you understand the power of your connection with your fans, you now have this data privately on your decentralized Tallracks fan page. You can go to brands and sell that to them directly.
Awesome.
So you get 100 cents in the dollar, not the minuscule 0.004 cents Spotify gives to you.
Thank you very much. Next question. There's someone who had his hand raised here, if you still want to ask. Just please raise your hand so they can see you and bring you the microphone. Yeah. Great. Right behind you. No worries.
All right, I'll just keep it brief. To my homeboy, Nasty C, Durban Stand Up. You know what it is, bro. So you come from the city of Durban, and I think I've heard you often talk about how difficult at times it is to come back and perform there now that you are where you are, right? So, and being someone who works in that system, and I'm pretty sure that in Africa, in different regions of Africa, we'll find similar systems, that certain people in the industry end up maybe coming to a space where they create a system where any upcoming artist has to be part of that system. If they're not part of that system, they're not in, if you know what I mean, right? We've seen that. But you've managed somehow not to be in a system, to be global, to be international, and also to diversify, because we're talking tech entrepreneur, creator, gamer, you know what I mean? So you diversified. What would you say to a young Nasty C or any other upcoming artist who wants to be in that space but also be able to understand that they don't have to be in a system. They need to diversify as well to also see potential in what they're doing. Thank you.
That's a great question, man. I think as long as you're being yourself 100% and fully embracing all the parts of you that make you truly who you are, you know, I think that will get you further than just being a rapper in a pool of 1 million rappers. You know, you have to come. If you skate in your music videos, skate at your performances or something like that. Build a ramp, make that your stage. You know what I mean? All those little attributes really give people a clear vision and idea of who you are, and then they start appreciating you. And then it makes it easier for them to actually relate to you because they see more than just a lyricist. Now you're a person. You have an identity, you have, you know, character. I think those things are very, very important. If you look at like all the most successful people, especially the ones that come from places like Durban, where it's like a small city and there's a lot of gatekeeping, if you look at them, you'll see that their personalities are just, you know what I mean? It's more than just a lyricist. Because you can have talent, but if you don't have personality, you won't really make it that far, unfortunately.
Solid, real solid. Next question, I think I could take 2 more.
My name is Jordan Wilson Zabron, better known as Fivara. I am a Tanzanian hip-hop artist, entrepreneur, and creative. I have like 3 questions that I would like to ask Nasty C and the guy over there.
Toby.
So I would like to know the difference that is there on your platform with the other platforms, the platform that you're talking about. Like, if I'm going to use your distro, what are the differences, the things that really set you guys apart from other platforms, like the way you collect royalties, the marketing tools that you have in your platform? And the second question that is going to Nasty C, I would like to know, how do you view the power of consistency in your career as a musician? And the third one is going to be, like, how do you view spirituality and the way your career has been going? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take the last question and then we'll answer everything at one go. So the last question. Okay. Wow. Okay, this guy raised his hand first in the first place. To my far left, yeah? Yeah. I just like to remind you guys that Tallstacks does have a stand at the exhibition area. So if you've got any other questions about the platform specifically, you could walk over to them and ask those questions once you get there. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Chizito Edrin Pinto is my name. I'm from Kampala, Uganda. I happen to manage Ann Kansime, the comedian.
Nice.
And my inquiry is to you, sir. So far with Ann Kansime, we have over 2,000 episodes of content. Is there a chance to upload that content on that platform? And again, if we have to upload that, is there a chance that we can dub the content in other languages so that other parts of the world can access our content? Thank you.
That was a question I love. Absolutely. Audio, visual. Content is content, whether it's a static image, a PDF document, anything can now be digitally licensed through blockchain technology. If you believe there's value in what you have and you have an audience that you want to put it up forward to, you don't need permission, bro. You own it. And that is definitely one of the things. And then also on a cost basis, 2,000 episodes must be terabytes of data. And one of the things that we often don't know is we upload all this content onto a Google Cloud Drive or store it somewhere, and then our server bills and our content costs, and all of a sudden Google starts hitting your credit card, and you don't account for it. So what we do is we actually have a lot of compression for video technology. We are inventing a lot more, borderline on the streaming side, but I'd love to show you how our video capabilities work, and would love to talk to you about taking that 2,000 and building your own broadcasting channel literally from this thing. So that's a great case study. If we've got more of those ideas, and you've got content or archived music or unreleased footage, and you just feel a need to put it out there, maybe not socially, but maybe to a small niche, a small fans, like a first 100 true followers or first 100 true fans, then that's a great use case. And we can even start tonight. Moving to the...
Dubbing. He also asked about dubbing the...
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, over to Nasty.
No, dubbing into other
Dubbing.
languages.
for
Was that the
different
question?
regions and stuff. That was the second part of his question.
Dubbing. Oh, well, okay. Well, AI does the dubbing, right? So as long as the natural language programming engine or the machine, the technology learns, oh, you're Rwandese or French or Italian, there are libraries trained out there that does it automatically for you.
Awesome.
It takes some time and you've got to do a bit of editing, but you know the technology is becoming so good that you'll have a 95% really good outcome. I'm keen to see how it works with Rwandese or French. We've seen with French and American and other languages, it works well. And that's the other thing. We haven't really, unearthed all of the languages. It's like 6,000 languages in Africa, right? Like 3,000 religions. So there's a lot of people that needs to feed the machine a lot of data for us to be optimally at superpower level, right? A superhuman level. But we're already at a good enough level. There was nothing before this, and now we have something to start with, and that's the most important point, yeah.
Great. Nasty, to you, I think it was consistency and
Yeah.
spirituality with music.
How do I view consistency? Could you rephrase that for me, bro?
How do you view consistency?
My
Yeah,
consistency?
your consistency with regards to
Oh.
music, yeah.
I'm the kind of artist that likes to take his time, man. I started doing this when I was 9 years old. And I had 0 listeners, and then I had 1 listener, then I had 2, and then it grew to 10, and then 100, and then 1,000. It was never an overnight thing, so I've never felt the pressure to constantly feed people, to say, hey, I still exist, I'm still here, please pay attention. I've never really felt that. I've always taken my time with all my projects. It's always sincere, it's always from the heart. I'm always very introspective. I share a lot. I'm very vulnerable in my music. So I feel like I could take a whole year or 2 years to work on a project and then come back and give you something decent, something good, something with weight and value, that when you listen to it, you don't even feel like I've been gone for that long because you've been digesting what I gave you previously, That's how, personally, that's how I am. And I feel like it's an important tactic to take as an artist, you know what I mean? Instead of just putting out the second one was spirituality, right? If I'm not mistaken. I was raised in a Christian home. I know there's a God. I'm a God-fearing man. Also, my mother passed away when I was like 11 months old, so all I know about my mother is like these different stories. I have no memory of her whatsoever. So to me, she's kind of like an angel, right? So I have those two things to really hold on to and fall back on whenever I feel like my spirit is under attack or when I feel weak or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm covered in that respect because in my bag right now, I have a Bible in there, Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm good. I have a lot of people around me with their head screwed on very, correctly, and they make sure to pull me back whenever I stray and whenever I lose my ways. They pull me back and they remind me why I'm here, how I got here. I understand that it's not just my skill or my talent that got me here. It could never be. There's someone up there pulling the strings, you know what I mean? That's how I think, personally.
Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Nasty C and also to Toby, Makerverse, Tallracks. Again, there's a stand at the exhibition center. Do check them out. Ask all your questions there. I know the gentleman asked what makes it unique. I think you touched a lot on that, but for more information, you could visit the stand. And remember, Nasty C is performing tomorrow night. Please get your tickets to watch him perform live. It's going to be incredible. Thank you so much, Nasty, Toby. Thank you guys so much for making time for us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.